Hello everybody, this is Davina from Teacher Success Coach. Yes, I've just finished a meeting. I thought, oh, let me jump online before I go and get myself sorted, i.e. have a few pieces of lesson to plan for tomorrow. Right, what am I grateful for? As usual, I'm grateful for life, the fact that I'm here. And I'm grateful for you guys for logging on and, looking at some of the things I've been doing, etc., etc. And grateful for my family and to my students because they are my teacher as much as I am the teacher. Okay, today have been interesting day. As usual, the students are really hyperactive. Yes, we've had a week off. They're back from yesterday. And the trend just seems to be continuing there. Some of them have exams and some of them, those that don't have exams, we had to have change of classroom today. So I'm not too sure if that was one of the disruptive factor there. But my year 10s, what did I have them for sociology? Extremely disruptive to the point that my lesson was probably just a few minutes. I just sat there until they were ready to be quiet. And we did not finish what I planned for my lesson. So I said to them, you know what? You're going to be having this for homework. I don't give homework. They know I don't give homework. They know most of my teaching is done in class, face-to-face, etc. But if you are not going to be listening, I am going to give you for homework. So everything I planned for today's lesson, I've actually put it on Teams for them for homework in terms of answering all the questions, in terms of summarizing the PowerPoint. That was what I was going to do and explain the PowerPoint. They didn't give me the time to do that. So that's what they have to do. And as a failure to do that, there'll be a detention. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow when they actually come back in because I've got them tomorrow. And all I had was, oh, Miss, this is unfair. Miss, I wasn't talking. I'm not interested. It's called the fact that one student have actually disrupt and you guys are not saying they shouldn't. You are either joining in, etc. So there you have it. I'm not interested. So the interesting thing about all of that is they were not happy. They were not happy. And I said we need to reflect on that and see that as a learning curve. The other thing is some of them that was extremely disruptive, I had to have a one-to-one session with them. Because as we know, when you actually have students in group, it's escalate the behavior or the attention seeking. So one of the things I usually do is when students are disruptive, either give detention or see them on a one-to-one session. I also know detention doesn't work, so it's a waste of my time. So what I do and I feel is very useful is find out the root cause of all of that. One of the students I actually had a discussion with, the interesting thing is I'd actually scheduled him for detention. Miss, please, because I've got basketball. You don't understand how this basketball is so important to me. Is it? Which means you should have known better instead of disrupting my lesson. Anyway, we had a long discussion, and one of the things that he actually owned and admitted was he get easily distracted. And I had to commend him for that because he was able to identify that he gets easily distracted. I know that. A lot of my colleagues know that, but did he know that? Yes, he was able to identify it. So my thing for him was, okay, yes, you've identified that you're easily distracted. The way forward on this, what do you plan to do to reduce that distraction? Because if it continue, I would have to take severe action on that. And one of the things he'd said to me is, Miss, if I come in and where I'm sitting, I'm getting distracted. Can I move? Yes, you can. But as you know, we've got a sitting plan. And in that sitting plan, I didn't put you next to someone who you normally talk with. But it doesn't matter who he sits with. He seems to engage with them and become distracted. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow when they come back in. Because I've got them tomorrow's Wednesday. So I've got them tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. I'll come back to you and tell you what's happening with my group. Right. What my win? There were quite a few actually, because I've also had year 12 and year 13. Year 13 and year 10, year 13 and year 11, they've got mock exams next week. So one of my win is one of the students took the session. One of the important way of remembering something, you teach what you know to others, so it helps you in terms of recall and your ability to understand the subject. So that's what she did. She actually said, "Oh, Miss, do you mind me taking the session?" I said, "That's no problem." So she actually took the session, and she was actually teaching what I taught them to those who wanted to show about the topic, which was fantastic. And another thing we did was we did like a debate session, which is fantastic for revision. We were looking at feminist, Marxist and functionalist perspective. So we had three groups, you know, we divided the students into the three groups, and it was a debate in terms of what are the different theorist perspective on the different topics. For example, the theorists, the functionalist perspective, the feminist perspective, and the Marxist perspective on education. What was it? So that was really, really, really engaging. It was fantastic because competition, they were competing to see, you know, what they knew, and they were competing in terms of explaining. It was a fantastic session. So, you know, that was one of the things that I thought, okay, I'll do that in all my sessions. You know how when you're doing a revision house, or when you're doing teaching for argument's sake, how some things actually pop into your head. So as they were doing one of the students were doing the presentation to the others, that actually came to my thought, whoa, that's brilliant. So we tried it out and it worked wonderful. So tomorrow I've got a session with them, so that's what we're going to do, and get them to, in terms of group, get them to do an exam paper as a group and feedback. You know, all those are different techniques for revision, and they worked well because it enables students to remember, especially when they're doing group discussion and group revision. Not group chatting, group revision. It's like keeping them on task. One of the things that enable it to work well, you need to keep them on task. So when you actually give them an exam paper, get them to do it in group and different exam papers. So therefore, when they finish it, they're able to feedback to each member. So that's, you know, that form of revision for me is working quite well for them. And they're actually seeing the benefit. And for them, it was an aha moment. And for me, it was, oh my goodness, that's brilliant. You know, so that was my win for today. In terms of my exam groups, they're actually coming on quite well. A number of anxiety, but that's expected. But overall, it's, you know, one of my wins. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening. Take care and have a blessed evening. Remember to love yourself, because no one would love you as you love you. And love starts from you. You could only give what you've got, and you need to give yourself love so that you can actually give others. Anyway, take care. Have a blessed night. Be good. Love upon yourself, and I'll speak to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.